stopping by the channel. My name's Leah, and we are going to be recapping and reviewing Real Housewives of Miami. This is season 4, episode 11, I think. But it's going to be down below if I'm wrong. Yeah. So the episode opens up with, we see Frankie, Peter, and Alexia at the doctor's office. We see both, I guess both of Frankie's doctors. They probably are like neurosurgeon or like neurologist, and they're basically congratulating Frankie. They're really astonished and impressed with his progress after having his brain injury, and they're just happy with his success. I also saw something on Twitter where they were saying that, and I should have taken a screenshot of it, but they were saying how Alexia fought for this scene to be in, or for more scenes of her son's progress to be in the episode to give people like encouragement. But I also think she did that because of how Todd checked them last episode about what they be doing, and she wanted to prove that, like, you know, even though he don't be like, we just let him kind of do whatever, he has made progress, you know. We also found out, we see Gertie in that pretty purple. She looked really girly in that purple. We found out that she has, Alexia called and she's finally picked a venue. So Gertie can start doing her job and Gertie-fying the wedding. We then see, we're at Marisol's place and we see her and her husband. I like her husband. I like her husband for her. Like, he seems like a really good guy who's like into her, and they seem to always have a really good time. So I'm happy for her, especially after seeing seasons 1 and 2 where she abruptly like eloped with that French man. Then they got a divorce and she really thought like he was like the one, and her family thought he was the one, and then it just fizzled out. So I'm happy she found somebody that seems to really be like the right person for her. She invited Johnny, Kiki, and Adriana over to her place to help her plan what's it called? Alexia's Bachelorette Party. It's going to be at the Versace Mansion, and it's basically they're going to sleep over there, have food, and just have a good time and party, which is cute. And so they're there, they're sitting down, and then Adriana, I think, brings up, is everybody invited? And Marisol's like, yeah, everybody's invited. And I think Adriana was like, even Nicole. And she was like, yeah. So Adriana was like, I feel like you and Nicole should have a conversation. And Marisol kind of has his face for like, what, we already talked. And Adriana's thing is that she had a conversation with Nicole, and they actually show a flashback where Nicole is basically like, Marisol isn't a good person. What she did was with malice and vindictive intent, and she don't want to be near her. I want to keep her at an arm's length. She's a bad person. Yada, yada, yada. And so Marisol is like, I said what I said because I come into the room talking about when they were back at the Hamptons, and I see her and Lisa attacking Alexia, and basically Marisol's thing is like, you're not about to attack my friend and not get attacked back. So she said, I'm looking at her saying all these things and saying how much she loves these people, but I know she's been talking trash. So that's what I said. That's why I said what I said. And that's what it is. So then we see Nicole and Lisa meet up. They're eating dinner or breakfast. Say breakfast. I think they were having like lunch. And, you know, Lisa is back from her vacation with Lenny. She had a good time. She enjoyed herself. They slept. They just had a good time. So we end up finding out that really Lisa and Nicole bonded over how their daddies is. How really effed up their daddies are. And Lisa was talking about how it took a lot of mental preparation to actually call up her dad and have that conversation with him just for him to come there and be basically intoxicated. And Lisa automatically was like, oh, so he's an alcoholic. And Nicole's like, no, he just likes to party a little too much. But we end up finding out that I think Lisa's dad might be an alcoholic or have a substance abuse problem. And she was like, she doesn't have a relationship with her father. Then I think the conversation came up about Marisol. And Nicole was like, she's dead to me. I don't want nothing to do with her. I'm like, she's not a good person. I tried to extend the olive branch. We had a conversation, and then she walked away. And Lisa's thing is like, I like you, but I adore Marisol. Like, there's so many things about her that I adore. So she was like, I'm hoping y'all can work things out. So the next thing we see is Alexia and Todd go look at their wedding venue. They're actually getting married on this huge yacht. I think it's a yacht, or it might just be a boat. I think you would classify that as a boat, but it's huge, and it's called, I think, like the Seafair. It looks really nice on the inside. They're gonna get married at sea, and it was nice. Gertie is there. The food looked good. Like, the chef came out and was basically serving them samples of what they're gonna have, like the cake and everything. And they're having like a seafood theme kind of like food like menu. So they didn't want wedding food. So they're supposed to have like seafood, pasta, like all these type of stations. I know if I ever get married, I want buffet style, but I want a mashed potato station, a macaroni station, a bacon station. Like, we're gonna be eating. Like, we're going to eat, and it's gonna be like, if you come to my wedding, we eating, and it's like, it's an open bar. We drink until the sun come up. You know, we're gonna have a good time. So it was cute. It was a cute moment. I'm happy they finally found a venue so Gertie can do her job. I hope we get to see the wedding, because I think it will look beautiful, and I want to see what Alexia look like in her wedding dress, because I know she gonna look bad. She gonna look like a baddie. Okay, and I want to. The next scene we see is Julia and Adriana, basically Juliana, meeting at Adriana's house, and they're just having a dinner. Like I said on Twitter, y'all, their relationship is like vaguely sweet. It's cute to a certain extent, but it's always borderline disrespectful, because when they were having this conversation, basically they're bonding over having empty nest syndrome. Excuse me. So Julia's oldest daughter is about to go study abroad for, I think, a year. And then her youngest daughter, like we heard earlier in the episode, in the season, that she's going to France to go live with her dad and do high school there. And Julia was like trying to understand, like, if her daughter was going to come back and finish high school in America. And the daughter's like, she don't know. She basically is like, leave it alone. Like, I want to go and experience France with my dad. We end up getting more backstory that, like, the youngest daughter has a good relationship with the father. He wasn't there until she turned 2, but they've been able to work on their relationship. The oldest daughter doesn't have a relationship with her father, and Julia don't really know where the man is. It's like she found out that she was pregnant, and then poof pow, he disappeared. So she's dealing with empty nest syndrome. Then you have Adriana, who's feeling lonely because she's like, she didn't think this is where her life would be. Like, she thought she would have a life partner with her husband, and then that ended. And then her son is in college, living his best life. You know, he's living life, and she's like, she's lonely. She's like, I wake up and I'm like, is this what life is supposed to be at this age? Because I think Adriana's the oldest. She's like 57. So she probably didn't think this is where things would be at this age. Like, she really probably thought that she would be with her husband for the long haul, and it's not that. And it also seems like he ended up probably maybe cheating or leaving her to be with someone younger, because she made mention when they were sitting outside that, you know, all we have is each other, like our friendships. You know, our kids are leaving, our husbands leave us to go get with the newest model. So it seems like that's what happened with her and her husband, which is unfortunate. And, you know, I thought they was gonna kiss in this scene, y'all. I really did, because it was like the rain is falling. They talking about the Notebook, which everyone loves to talk about. I don't get the appeal. And she's like, you taught me, Adriana's like, you taught me how to love. You taught me, like, love has no color. Love has no gender. Thank you for that. I am forever grateful. And then Julia's looking like she about to cry. And she's just like, they're holding hands. And I'm like, somebody about to lean over and kiss somebody. Like, I thought they was going to kiss passionately. And I was like, and then I got to remember, she married. So cut this out. Like, it's disrespectful. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them. So then the next scene we see is Larsa, and she's there with, I think, her oldest son or her second oldest son, and then Sophia. And they're looking at this house. The house was nice. It's a oceanfront home. They have like 130 feet of like waterfront that they can post up, like, you know, have a boat there. I don't know, like, I don't like open concept rooms. I don't. Like, the master bedroom had an open concept bathroom, and oftentimes I think about, like, when you're taking a shower and then all of that humidity coming into your room. I don't want that. I don't want it. So I feel like they need to do something about that. Like, you know, and then I also don't like white marble floors. I'd rather have hardwood, but I really think that's like a California, Miami kind of thing, because like here in the South where I stay, like those types of houses, like when people have those types of houses, they're considered more modern. Down here, most people have like hardwood, like floors, like if they're going for a concept of no carpet. And I like that aesthetic more than I like marble floors. The house was nice. I think they said it was like 6,000 and something square feet. We end up finding out that like their old house is in contract. So I guess that means people are actually interested in buying it. At first they had it on the market for 10.2 million. Now it's 10.7 million. And Scotty is like signed off for them to actually go forward with proceeding of selling the home. The only downside is they got to be out that house in 40 days. And Larsa still hasn't found a home yet. I was like, yeah, that's kind of messed up. But it seemed like she dragging her feet, not him, in my opinion. Because it's like, he don't live there. You do. So I'm like, do you not want to get rid of the home? But $10 million that they get to split. So 5 and 5 is good. Like, it's good for anybody. So good for them. Okay, so the next thing we see is the family playing basketball. We finally get to see Frankie, Peter, and Alexia playing basketball. It was a cute scene. In my mind, I said Frank cussing, you know, Todd cussing y'all out and yelling at y'all and threatening to beat Peter's ass got y'all to get it together. And I thought the conversation was it was good, but it was sad because Peter needs help. Peter needs a lot of help. I was glad Alexia said that she was going to go to therapy because she does need it. Because it seems like Alexia is the type of person that like, something traumatic happens and she accepts it and she moves on. She accepts it, she moves on. Accepts it, moves on. But she doesn't process it to like understand, like because like you can accept something and move on and still not process it. So then when it's brought up again, you're like, it messes you up. And she tried to encourage Peter to go, but Peter was like, nah, I don't want to talk to nobody I don't know. I talked to Abuela. She's a good therapist. And it's like, the lady is dying. Unfortunately, I think she actually has like passed on, but it was like, you can't put all of that on your grandma, and you as a 29-year-old man should want to get help, because honestly, y'all, Peter oozes insecure, low self-esteem little boy. It's like you can see it in the way that he carries himself, because if you look at pictures when he did feel good about himself, it was different. Like you could tell he was different. To now, he looks pasty. He looks wet all the time. And I'm like, yeah, you need therapy. You need to talk to somebody. Like they even showed when he talked to his grandma, and I think they said it was in 2013, where his grandma even was like, you got low self-esteem, and he does. And like he even talked about like when they had that fight with Todd, he was like, you brought up every insecurity that I'm dealing with. And I'm like, keyword with, which means you haven't dealt with it. So I hope he goes to get therapy, but we know he not. We know he had a domestic violence situation and with his girlfriend. And that seems to be like in limbo because allegedly the girl not trying to help the police, even though he smacked her around. So it's just kind of like, he needs to be held accountable before somebody who doesn't care about him holds him accountable, and the outcome might not be in his favor. Well, it ain't gonna be in his favor. The next thing we see is all the girls showing up to the Versace Mansion, and it's cute. The Versace Mansion is nice. Everybody look cute. Johnny brings this big pink penis, and I thought it was cool. Like they had drinks on hand. I guess you can also eat, like it's a restaurant. But I thought it was cool. Like the rooms were nice. It just lets me know Marisol, y'all might not like Marisol, but Marisol is Miami. Marisol is Miami. They showed pictures of Marisol hanging out with Madonna, Donatella, and like other famous people at the Versace Mansion. And I'm like, this is why she know Nicole been talking trash. Y'all may not think Nicole was talking trash, but I think Nicole was talking trash because I don't think Marisol would lie about that. I genuinely think that Nicole got caught up and didn't think much of Marisol. And then now she finding out that like Marisol always got her ears to the streets, and the streets will give Marisol information. So I like Marisol. Y'all may not like the lady, may not like her, but I like her. She keep a good thermal like me. So they're all getting ready. Everyone's happy. Everyone's excited. Lisa wants people to take pictures so she can post them on Instagram because she needs her content. And we end up finding out that the room situation, I think it's Alexia, Larsa, Marisol, and Lisa are in like a suite style room where everyone has their own room, but they share a living area. And then I think it's Kiki, Julia, and Adriana are sharing a room together, are sharing a suite together. It says that it like staying at the Versace Mansion is $2,000 a night. They gonna make their money. But we find out that like Alexia loves Versace down. We see that she took a picture with President Obama and Herman, and Obama says she looked so beautiful in the red dress that like she had to sit in the, like she had to be in the middle. And I guess it's protocol for the president to be in the middle when taking pictures, but she did look beautiful in the dress. Nicole brings up Marisol again. Like, I guess they were talking, Juliana and them was talking. So it was Alexia and Julia were talking to her, and she brings about how she's going to keep Marisol at arm's length and she can be cordial. And I'm like, for someone who is trying to put on this facade that she not pressed, you press, because you keep bringing it up. So everyone gets there. Larsa got her ass cheeks out again. I don't get why I hope Larsa got on underwear. I really do hope she got on underwear because she has on this, it's a pretty cute little silver shimmy dress, but like the slit is to her belly button. And I'm like, I hope you got on panties. So the next thing is like Larsa's there and she's talking and she's basically like, she's worried that Adriana is going to feel some type of way about the room situation. And Marisol was like, no, I paid for these rooms. I assigned the rooms. Ain't no situation. And then in Larsa's confessional, she's like, I don't want, because Adriana is like, she's like, she's crazy. She always be thinking these things. And I'm like, I don't like that because I'm like, she's not pulling these things out her butt, Larsa. Yes, is she projecting? Yes, but like you've done things. You've done slick stuff to her. So stop playing. So it's time to eat dinner. All the girls look cute in their little Versace outfits because that was the dress code. Like you had to wear Versace to the dinner. So they're having the dinner, and then we find out, unfortunately, that Alexia's mom got sick with the vid. So she's in the hospital. And like I said, unfortunately, the mom has passed on. There's 1 week before the wedding. So then Lisa's sitting at the table. And Lisa is the reason why this all kicked off. Because Lisa asks, like, she's like, does anybody want to, like, clear the air? And, like, whatever anybody has with anybody, like, we should just, like, let it go. Let this be a restart. So Marisol chimes up. And she's like, Nicole, I heard from the other ladies that, like, you're still talking about our situation. And I thought, like, we squashed that. Like, we moved past it. And, like, you seem like you still have an issue. And Nicole's like, no, I don't. People keep asking me about our issue, and I'm just answering it. And Marisol's like, sis, no. Because they keep telling me that every time y'all meet, everyone keeps telling me every time y'all meeting up, you bring it up. And I slightly saw Kiki kind of nod her head like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And she's like, no, I don't. She was like, and then Marisol's like, you told everyone we didn't have a conversation when we did. And Nicole says, like, no, I told them we did have a conversation, but you walked away. And after that, we haven't had a conversation. And And Marisol's like, yeah, I walked away because we were just on a hamster wheel, just going in circles. We weren't like getting to a point. And like I was done with it after that. And Nicole's like, I'm done with it too. And it's like, you're not done with it, Nicole, because you keep talking about it. And mind you, I think when they showed the flashback of the conversation between her and Adriana, I don't think Adriana asked her. Correct me if I'm wrong. The only person that asked her about the situation was Nicole. Not Nicole, was Lisa. But like when they were up in the rooms before they came down to eat dinner, she brung Marisol up. So it's like you kind of are, like not kind of, you are pressed. And I think the situation is that Nicole, I think honestly, Nicole's just mad that like Marisol called her out. I really think that Nicole did say those things because like Larsa said, Marisol's not a liar. But I think Nicole said those things, and Nicole was just mad that she got confronted at the table. And maybe Marisol is putting a little extra dust on it, but I think Nicole definitely said those things. And she copped to saying them, but she said that like Marisol is spinning it, but I really don't think Marisol is spinning. I think she really did say those things, and I think her boyfriend or her new now fiance said those things as well. So then Julia pops in and she says she has an issue with Larsa, saying that like she hasn't been able to connect with Larsa. Larsa is blindsided, like, girl, what? And Larsa feels like she's just sticking up for her because of her girlfriend, her girlfriend Adriana. Julia says she felt some type of way about the out of wedlock comment. Y'all already know how I feel about that. Like, girl, didn't nobody tell you to have that many kids with that many people? Like, it is what it is. Like, if you're offended by it, you could be offended by it. But like, was a comment, it was what Larsa said wrong? It kind of was, because you shouldn't be judging anybody like that. But y'all judge her every day. So it's like, and they were playing tit for tat. You called the girl a hooker. You said you didn't want to be associated with her. She said she didn't want to be associated with you because you out here just popping out kids out of wedlock. It is what it is. It ain't that serious. So then Adriana pipes in. Gertie looks so annoyed. Like she kept drinking her drink, rolling her eyes. And she was like, girl, we at the mansion. Why y'all arguing? And I laughed. And Adriana's whole thing is like, you always think you're better than us. And Lisa chimes in and she's like, no, she don't. And Adriana's like, Lisa, you don't even know her like that. And Lisa's like, no, I actually do know her like that. And I don't think she acts like that. And to be honest, I think this is very much like, I want to say like 70-30. 30% of me does believe Larsa thinks she better than them because she hooked up with the Kardashians, because she has famous friends. Larsa does kind of have that air. She even had that air when she was on season 1 because she was married to Scotty. She thought she was the bee's knees because she was married to such a well-known, famous NBA player. I think the other 70% is Adriana is feeling insecure and probably a little peeved and a little frustrated at the fact that like she wasn't a main cast member. She's just a friend of the show. When she was like, she's been on the show just as longer than Lisa and longer than Larsa. Adriana was on seasons 1-3. She never took a break. Lisa didn't come in till season 2 and Larsa quit after season 1. So I think she feels some type of way that like they're full-time cast members. And she's like, but I gave y'all those 3 seasons and I never like jumped ship. So I do feel like she's feeling some type of way that like she's not a part of like the OG clique. Because even though Marisol is a friend of the show, I think she still does get treated like she's a part of the OGs because she's so close to Alexia. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. Like, y'all, let me know what y'all think. The funniest part about that dinner was Alexia. There were other friends, other like people who were not associated with the cast that are Alexia's friends that were there for the dinner. And when Adriana was like, you left. Oh, excuse me, my bad, y'all. You left. You left and you went to California just to become Kim Kardashian's minion, and then you came back, and that black lady was like, when Adriana said Kim K's minion, I said, ooh, she didn't have to say that. I mean, Larsa really did become her minion or her friend, but I was just like, Adriana, calm down, girl. Put Put the gun away. Put the gun away. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and drop down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Adriana is over exaggerating? Like, do you think she's just feeling insecure about her position? Or do you think Larsa does think she's better than Adriana? I kind of tend to think Larsa has done things to show that she might think she's better than Adriana, but also Adriana could feel like Adriana could be putting 20 on 10. And whose side are you on? Are you cool? Or do you think Nicole is pressed? Do you not think she's pressed? Or do you think Marisol is just like old, angry, old, bitter lady? But yeah, y'all, that is it. And that is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and drop down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Deuces.